Okay, so hey y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna keep in what I had earlier, but I had something going on. I had to stop the video, so I had to start it back over. So I'll decide later. But anyway, hi, it's Monica, and I'm back with an update. So last time I talked to y'all, I went into preterm labor, but and I had to go to the hospital, and I stayed in the hospital for a couple of days. They gave me magnesium, and it stopped the preterm labor. Just so y'all know, I'm getting ready for Halloween slash surprise birthday party for my sister-in-law Jackie, who turned 50. So this is my first time wearing makeup in forever. Y'all haven't seen me in makeup since. Well, y'all saw pictures of the baby shower. I had on makeup, but for me to go somewhere and do some makeup, y'all, it's been forever. Anyway, so I came home. That was Thursday. Sunday, that was Thursday the 16th. Sunday, I don't know whatever the date for Sunday was. I went back to the hospital because I was in a lot of pain. She was like super active. I didn't know if I was going in labor or what. It was crazy. So I go back to the hospital, and I was actually not in labor. I was still only 2.5 centimeters dilated. And but she was her heart rate was a little high. She was just like tripping, like all over the place. So they kept me for a couple of hours, just until her heart rate leveled out and she kind of calmed down, and I came on home. So all was well. That was on Sunday. Thursday, I was in a ton of pain. I had a terrible headache. I'm like, I'm just so uncomfortable. So I didn't want to go to the hospital on Thursday. And Nathan kept saying, well, do you want to go back to the hospital? And I was like, no, I just need to chill out. And, me and her need to get ourselves together, because I felt terrible. I'm looking for my brush to even out this daggone primer on my eye before it dry. I should have had stuff together, but I'm kind of in a rush. But anyway, so I'm like, no. So he goes to work Thursday night as normal. I'm still kind of all over the place, not feeling like myself. Go to bed around my normal time. Wake up. I could use this, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to use this. Wake up in the middle of the night, y'all. And I'm like, I show my sister. No. Well, yeah. I text my sister and was like, is this my mucus plug? She was like, yep. So I go. So I waited. I went back to sleep because I Googled it and it said just because you lose your mucus plug doesn't mean you're going to immediately go into labor. And I think I had told y'all I want to labor at home because I didn't want people touching on me a whole bunch. And I'm just not that girl. I don't like all that. So keep checking you and stuff. Like, y'all checked me an hour ago. Why you checking me again? That type of thing. So eyebrows are not even. So I wait because I know he's gonna freak out as soon as I tell him. But once it was like a lot, because it seemed like it was just parts of my mucus plug at first. But once it was like a lot, and then I had to pee, and it was like a stream forever. And of course, you guys know I've had a premature rupture of membrane before, so I know when my water break. So I called him at work and was like, I think my water broke. And he's like, why do you think that? I'm like, because I've been sitting on this toilet peeing for a couple of minutes. He was like, oh my God, call the hospital. Let me call my supervisor so I can get off work. And I was like, no, I don't want to go to the hospital right now. Because, I just told y'all why. I didn't want them all over me and stuff a whole lot. So I waited. So I stayed on the phone with him until he got off. And he informed his supervisor when he was leaving, like, hey, my wife is in labor, so I won't be back at work tonight. So he came home. Our son got up. Y'all, I want y'all to see this amount of makeup palettes that I need to go to. I just need to, I'm going to be a pumpkin, as y'all can see, for Halloween. So I need to find a pretty orange. So the boy gets up for school. That might be a good orange. The boy gets up for school, and I told him I would take him into school on the way to the hospital. Because, again, I was not in a rush. Everybody else was in a rush but me. I wasn't in no rush. So, get him to school. The contractions, y'all, at this point are coming. Like, they hitting and holding. So, I am in the car. I might want one of the purples out of here. I'm in the car. So, oh my goodness. So, PG County, where we live. Not that I need out of here. They have a shortage of like 200 bus drivers. So, nothing. So a lot of parents are dropping their kids off at school. The line was so long to drop him off at school. This might be a good orange. Y'all can't see it. I think that's a good orange. The line was so long to get to his door, y'all. Oh my goodness. To the school. So by the time we done dropped him off at school, I am turned around in my seat, like on my hands and knees, hurting. So Nathan, of course, is like, I told you we shouldn't have dropped him off. We should have just went straight to the hospital. I'm like, it's cool, whatever. That's my blush. I'm like, it's cool, whatever. We, you know, on our way to the hospital now. So then we get down 301 going through Bowie. And I'm like, can we stop for Chipotle? And he's like, no, what's wrong with you? I'm like, look, once I get to the hospital, they're not going to let me eat. And I want some Chipotle. So we stopped for Chipotle. Again, I'm turned around backwards. I know them people. Up here's an orange right here. And a black that I could use with some purple glitter in it. This is the palette I need. So, he's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I'm like, look, I want some food. They ain't gonna let me eat. Who knows how long I'm gonna be in labor. So he did stop. So we in the line at Chipotle. And, oh yeah, that's good. So we in the line at Chipotle, waiting. And these contractions are like crazy. So we're making the necessary calls to the appropriate people, the godparents, my brother, my sister, his sisters, his mom, people like that. Like, hey, we're in labor. Baby be here between day and tomorrow. But it was early in the morning, so we kind of should have known it was going to be that day. Get to the hospital, get all checked in. Oh, so I forget the part where I call our advice line, the insurance I have. If y'all know anything about insurance, y'all could kind of figure out what insurance I have. I called the advice line to tell them, like, hey, I think I'm in labor, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, why do you think you're in labor? Because I lost my mucus plug and my water broke. Oh, well, why do you think that? Because I saw it? Like, because it's my body? I don't know what answer they wanted from me. I should have put my base color on first. So they're like, okay, you know, we'll call ahead to the hospital and let them know you guys are coming. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I should have put that on first. So we get up to the hospital. So I'm tearing my Chipotle up in the car on the way up there because I know once I get up in there, they ain't gonna let me eat nothing. So I will use the foundation to fix that. So we get in there, we get all checked in. They check me. They're like, you're still 2 to 3 centimeters dilated. I'm like, but I know I'm having contractions, so I'm in active labor. So they like, okay, put me in a monitor. I'm definitely like contractions jumping like Jordan. So they're like, oh, you're actually in like active labor. You'll be here. We're going to check you in, da, 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 da. So now I'm admitted into the hospital. They get me in the labor and delivery room. And they're like, what do you want for medicine? I'm like, nothing. So they're like, I said, well, Dr. Smith, my, who is she? She was like my MFL, my maternal fetal medicine doctor. She, y'all hear Pumpkin. What's wrong, Tookie Tookie? I'm gonna show y'all her in a minute. She's in her bassinet by my bed. But anyway, that's where she sleeps. So she had told me that there's a medicine that I could get that's like through the IV that's not an epidural, because I'm hell bent on I don't want no epidural. So they was like, well, we don't like doing that for preterm labor. So I was only 35 weeks, y'all. So they're like, well, you guys were in here a little over a week ago, and you got the magnesium to stop the labor, but we also gave you the steroid. So she should be good. Her lungs are good. So we're not going to stop the labor. We're going to have this baby today. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Child. We laboring. So when I checked in, it was 8:30 in the morning. What's wrong? What's wrong? Her brother had his last football game of the season today, and his dad went to pick him up because he's on JV because he's in 10th grade, and he went to pick him up from the varsity game. So he gave her to me, but I'm trying to get dressed. So I'm looking for my foundation brush. Interesting. So I labored with no medicine until, oh, there's that other brush I was looking for. Oh well, I did without it. And I'm gonna have to do without this foundation brush apparently. I could use this one, I guess. This is not the one I use. So I'm like, so they just keep telling me, I think you should get, so they're like, we're going to up the Pitocin because we don't want you to get an infection since you lost your mucus plug so long ago. So we really think you should get the epidural because the contractions are about to, intensify. So I'm like, all right, look, because they had been talking to me for like 12 hours about this damn epidural. So I'm like, fuck it, give me the epidural. Wrong idea, y'all. I should have stuck to my guns. The doggone epidural did not, me and my body and the epidural did not get along. So, initially, I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. I'm thinking the epidural is working. Because they said that my legs would get heavy. So my left leg got heavy. I'm like, oh, okay. And I ain't gonna lie, the pain did lessen a little bit. So then, but I'm laying there, and at first, the what do you call them? The anesthesiologist could not get it in the right spot. So when they do it, I twitched a little bit the first time, and she was like, what's wrong? And I said, my left butt cheek. I had like a sharp pain in my left butt cheek. And she was like, oh, that's not the right spot. So long story short, she freaking tries it 3 times and does not get it in. She can't get it in. So she calls another anesthesiologist who comes and attempts to do it. And he's like, don't you hate when this happens? And I'm like, what? What's going on now? He's like, I got it. And I'm like, oh, okay, good. Whatever, I done got stuck now. At this point, whatever's going to happen, right? So, oh, my husband's back. He going to be mad that I ain't ready. But I'm going to have to tell him I had to stop and feed her. She was hungry. So, I tell them, So I'm like, okay, good. So while I'm laying there talking to the nurse, she's like, about 3 contractions, and then you shouldn't be able to feel them like that no more. So I'm like, okay, great. No problem. I'm laying there scratching my right leg. I'm scratching my leg because that's what people do when they itch. So she's like, your leg itches? And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm scratching it. She's like, you shouldn't feel that. And I'm like, oh, Lord. Contractions still jumping like Jordan. So at this point, they're like, well, let's call the anesthesiologist back. But the doctor is in it. So the doctor's like, let's check her. Because I'm in there, you know, doing the thing. Screaming to the top of my lungs. Doing what women in labor do. She checked me. She was like, don't call them back. She's fully dilated. Fully freaking dilated. All of a sudden, my blood pressure plummets. It's down to 90/50. So apparently my body did not like this epidural. Which I should have just stuck to my guns and not did it from the beginning. But I did. Or whatever. So now I'm like, okay, I'm fully dilated. Can I start pushing? Because I feel like I gotta poop. Y'all, the pressure on my rectum was out of this world. I'm like, I just gotta poop. They're like, no, you don't have to poop. That's the baby. And I'm like, all right, well, can I push? Please, can I push? I just want to push. Please, can I push? Push, push, push. They're like, not yet. Because you're a new mom. I'm trying to blur that line of demarcation. Because you're a new mom, we're going to do some... No, she said... First she said, no, not yet. Because I want to wait until the baby is down as far as possible. So I'm like, how do you know where the baby at? But whatever. So I'm like, okay. So she said 1 hour. At 8:15, you can push. So I said, okay. All right. 8:15, I'm going to push. I'm just excited. I'm about to push. This about to be over. We looking at the clock, 8:15 roll around. The nurse is on point. The nurse runs right in the room. She's like, okay. So I'm like, where's the doctor? She said we could push. She's like, oh, well, we need to do some practice pushes because you're a new mom and we don't want you to be pushing for a long time. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, Dad. Oh, she is really crying. So she's like, Dad, you hold this leg, I'm gonna hold this leg. Mom, we want you to ball up around the baby, chin in your chest, and push. I'm like, sounds easy enough to me. So I do what they say do. And she said, on the next contraction, you're gonna push. So I'm like, okay. Ball up around pumpkin. Next contraction, push. Next contraction come, I push. She's like, stop, 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 stop. I'm like, why? She's like, oh, because she's coming. Like, we can see her head. So she runs and goes and gets the doctor. And the doctor coming in. And I hear the doctor in the hallway outside the door like, she needs to practice. And the nurse is like, no, the baby, she did a really good push. The baby's coming. So the doctor coming in, she's ready to go now. So I'm like, all right, you know, let's do this. Y'all, the next contraction, a push and a half, and the baby was here. She was here. What's wrong, girl? And here she is. With one sock on. Say hey, y'all. So she was born at 8:38. She's 4 pounds. She was 4 pounds and 14 ounces. Let me see if they can get your clothes on you. You just want me to hold you. Nathan! Come here, you. So I'm trying to get out this door. And your father gonna be fussing at me in a minute. Could you put wipe her off and put her costume on her, please? It's on the thing next to her table.
She ain't about to be fussing at me.
Why you gonna fuss at you?
Because I gotta get ready.
Why? We dropping you off?
I'm coming to drop.
Oh, you're not going to the other party? Okay, well, just start that and then I'll come. Take your stuff and take a shower on Sean's house. Take your stuff and take a shower there. So, y'all, apparently the boy's coming with us and not going. He was supposed to go to some teen party thing. Oh, I need some lashes. So, oh, I ain't do my cheeks. I'll do them in a second.
You said wipe her down with the wipes?
Uh-huh.
And where her costume at?
Right next to her teddy bear.
Alright. We taking these socks off?
Yeah. I'm going to bring you some Halloween socks.
Alright.
So, she came rather expeditiously. No health issues. They ain't have to like stimulate her or nothing. She came out. She was hollering. I didn't split or anything. It was something like, kind of like a carpet burn a little bit. But other than that, we had no issues. She came real quick. I was so happy. I'm doing my makeup. I had to stop and feed her. So, her father said, what is her mother doing? Anyway, he wasn't going to get beat the hell up. So, she came with no problem. She came on Friday. We were supposed to come on Sunday, but her bilirubin number was a little high. So they put her on a little glow bed. She absolutely hated it. And they said babies do hate it. It wasn't abnormal. So they put her on that for a night, for 12 hours. And when they checked her again, she was perfect. So we came home the next day. Came home on Monday. So she did not stay in the hospital. She did not need any other assistance. What else? So she was 4'14" when she was born. She was 4'11" when she came home. She was 4'8" at her first doctor's visit, was the Tuesday, the day after we came home from the hospital, right, y'all? She wasn't playing. Her 2-week visit, she was... How many pounds was she at the 2 weeks visit? I can't remember. But she just had her 1-month visit on Tuesday. And Pumpkin is 7 pounds, 8 ounces. And the doctor was like, she is progressing quite well. They have no concern. Initially they told me to supplement her feeding. So she was getting, first it was 1 ounce formula, 1 ounce breast milk. Then it was 2 ounces of breast milk, 1 ounce formula. Until she was a month old. Now that she's a month old, she's on all breast milk. And that thing eats every 2 hours. My baby eat, y'all. And she is just, so she's out of her preemie clothes. She's in her newborn and her 0 to 3 month clothes. She's fitting them great. That's all I'm doing. I'm gonna put some lashes on. I had my lashes. Where are my lashes? But I'm just so happy, y'all. She is here. Ain't she cute? She cute. She fat. And I'm just grateful. I couldn't have asked for a better baby. I don't like going anywhere without her. So I pretty much don't. My best friend is going through something really traumatic right now. So she came and spent last weekend with us before she goes into the hospital. And she did watch her for a couple of hours while I went to Little Nathan's football game. And baby, I was in a rush to get back in here. And I was around the corner literally at his school. And I'm just so grateful to have her. And she's a blessing. And then for her to be born 5 weeks early with no health issues, I couldn't have asked for a better situation. We done prayed over this baby. I was able to, because my church isn't in session yet, but we do Zoom calls with the pastor one Saturday a month. Huh? All right, give me 1 second. Hold on, y'all. I'm back, y'all. I had to get him a t-shirt and some socks for her. But, y'all, tell y'all. So we have 4 frozen embryos, as y'all are aware. I won't be having them babies. Because, baby, I never want to labor again. Labor is not for me. Okay, we're having issues. Labor was not, labor ain't the business. So, I'm still paying for the storage of my embryos, of course. But I don't know what to do. He doesn't want to adopt them out because, which I understand, because he was like, ain't nobody going to be raising my babies. Because those are not like my egg or just his sperm. It's like our whole kid. Probably come out looking exactly like Pumpkin or something. Oh, yeah, so y'all know her nickname's Pumpkin. So we both being Pumpkin for Halloween. Yes, I use hair glue for my lashes. And it work. Because somebody, I don't remember who told me to do this. But it worked. So that's what I do. So don't judge me. I ain't no makeup artist. And I ain't telling nobody else to do it this way. I just do it this way. And I'm in a rush, so I'm probably going to screw up. Why does glue not coming out? Excuse me, y'all. What do I way this gonna get? So, she's here, y'all. I'm enjoying it. So I've been a mom. I don't have any. I've been a mom for a whole month. 5 weeks to be exact. Enjoying every moment of it. I have no complaints. Oh, so y'all, she had gas. Real bad. Like, real bad. And it seems to only kick in at night. So I emailed her doctor. I do like that about my insurance. Like, we have 24-hour access to somebody. And the speed on their response is based on the urgency that you label the message. And I ain't make it real urgent. I was just like, look, at night, she fussing a lot. I'm rubbing her stomach and her back. It looks like it's gas because once I do that, she breaks wind or burps a lot. But it is making her wake up crying. So they told me to go get this stuff, y'all. I have never heard of it before, but when I tell y'all it works, they told me to go get some gripe water. Gripe. G-R-I-P-E water. You trying to show me the outfit? You said it's cute, but it's big. That was the smallest one they had. It's okay. One of her godmothers bought her this Halloween outfit, y'all.
You should have had some black tights.
So I'm gonna take pictures of her and I.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna take pictures of her and I. Ooh. Not no glue on here. Alright, as soon as I put this glue on this lash, I'm ready. I had to stop. I fed her and burped her though. I said, your daddy bought me a hungry crying baby.
Come on, Papa.
So y'all, that is all I have. Oh, she do not latch on. She don't. We've been to the lactation specialist 3 times. She don't latch on. She latches on perfectly. At the visits, we come home. She don't do none of that. Is this orange? So I don't know if it's the environment at home or what, but she don't latch on at home. I need to, is this the orange I used? It is. I need a brush. She, so this week, one time, I got her to latch on for like 3 minutes. Then she ended up being over it and started screaming. And when she, and I'm okay with her crying. It doesn't frustrate me or bother me or anything. But when she screams to the point, is this the orange? It is. When she screams to the point where like real tears come out her eyes, I can't do that. So I just give her a bottle. It's still breast milk. So I still only give her breast milk, but it'll be out of bottle. Which my sister is like, be blessed that you're not going to have to fight her off your boob when it's time for her to go to daycare. And I'm like, yeah, but I still feel like every mom wants to feel like they could feed their baby. Which I'm feeding her just fine because I pump. Alright, y'all. This is my look. I need a lip liner. I probably should use something darker. But that's all I have, y'all. My baby here. I'm so excited. You can't tell me nothing. Alright, that's my look, y'all. Oh, so I'm gonna put on this tutu and just some regular black boots. And that's gonna be my look. Thank y'all for tuning in today. I'm gonna definitely upload some pictures of her. We had a matching outfit in the hospital, so I'm gonna upload that. We had she had her 1 month picture. I'm gonna upload that. So I'm gonna put all that stuff. So don't log off right now, y'all. Stay tuned for a second. Here's some pictures of Pumpkin and I. And I'm even gonna add my finished look in our Halloween costume. Later.